Let's look now at adding some extra wires to our electrical drawing. Now, I was a bit remiss in the last exercise. I didn't add the drawing to the project. I've done it already for you, editing components. So we need to right-click on the project, add the active drawing, apply the project default values. I'll right-click on adding wires now, properties, drawing properties, and make sure that that sheet number is sequential, 05, and enter. So that's all done. The next thing we do is we zoom in on our circuit here. Now you'll notice there's been some additions and some removals. Some of the wires have been removed, and we've got a connector bar here, and we've also got a motor here. Now the reason that they're there is to show you how the wires connect to components when you add them to a drawing. So I'm going to connect a wire from the motor to the connector block, and then down here to the rest of our ladder here. So let's zoom in a bit and pan this way a little bit. Again, you just use the wheel on the mouse for that. And we go to the schematic tab here, and we have insert wires and wire numbers. And if I go here to wire and click here, I can put a wire in, I can put cranks in, different degree cranks, I can interconnect components if I want to, or I can add a gap. And a gap is where a loop goes over an existing wire. I'm just going to click on wire there. And all I do now is I make sure that my object snaps are on down here on the status bar. And if I touch on here, see the nearest applies there, the nearest snap. So every time I get near the component, the connector block, you can see that the nearest appears. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go from 1 here, and I want to come down. Can you see, look, the wire picks the best possible route, and I can move that around. So I can come down to here, and it gives me a point that I can connect to that motor. So when I click now, can you see it picks the best route for that particular wire? Now, I can right click there, and what I can do now is I can use scoot. And scoot allows me to scoot a wire. So if I click there and bring that one up a little bit, it just moves it slightly for me, and then it's a right click to finish. So you can see there I've gone from the terminal 1 there on the connector block down to my terminal there on the motor. So that's how I add wires. Now, you'll notice there's no loop. So if I click here now and say that I want a gap, I can pick a wire to remain solid. So which wire do I want to remain solid? Let's say that one, like so. Select crossing wire to gap, I select that one, and there's my gap. Right click and enter to finish. So that wire now comes out, comes down, hops over that wire and comes down there, because obviously this is my main ladder here with my rungs on it. So let's pan upwards, hold down the wheel and move up, and then what I'm going to do now is just take a wire. So I click here on the fly out there, wire, and I want to come from the nearest point on here. So I pick a point here, that comes straight off the motor. I don't have to think about snaps or anything, and then I come down to here and I click on that wire there, and it puts a connector in. Can you see that? So there's my little crank showing that that wire connects to that ladder. So that's how I add my wires. It's very easy, isn't it? It's very quick, and it always works. It's not a problem. So adding wires in AutoCAD Electrical is very, very easy. Now you'll remember with that motor there were other connectors. Now I'm still in specify wire start, so I'm going to just hover over 4 there. Let's zoom in, and I want to go to 4 there. Put your object snap back on again, and nearest, and I'll come down now, and if I hover here, look, there are other points where I can connect, or are there? Well, there's one there, that's the last one. So I'll click there, and as you can see, can you see it's put the gap in for me? Because it knows that this wire needs to remain solid. I'm going to right click and scoot, and I'm going to select this wire here, and notice it selects the whole thing. Can you see that? It doesn't just select that one piece of wire, it selects the gap, the little hoop that jumps over the wire. So I'll move that to there, and again that tidies up for me. Right click to finish. So that's how you add your wires to your drawing. Now you'll notice we haven't numbered any wires yet. We'll number those in the next exercise.